Hello, my name is Rupert Townsend and I am a comic book collector, and I also buy and sell comics. We're here at the Royal National, which is one of London's leading comic marts, and we're here to see some of the wares. We have a really good selection of Marvel comics here and DC. These are from the 1970s predominantly, and we have titles, the popular titles such as Batman, The Avengers, Star Wars, Captain America, Amazing Spider-Man, all which have now become quite popular through the films that you'll see like in your cinemas, all the big blockbusters. So if we walk along here, you'll see a typical layout of the A to Z boxes with all the different comics in. Collectors come here to get bargains and fill the gaps in their collections, and obviously there are so many titles and so many comics. People just love them. It's a hobby that can last you a lifetime. I started collecting comics since I was 10, so I've still got an awful lot of comics to get. So if we look here, we've got the Amazing Spider-Man, and we have like a whole range of different comics. Each one is numbered. This was issue 148, and it includes the Tarantula as a baddie, and it's very well priced, very nice condition. Condition's very important with the comics. Obviously, people think sometimes they've got a gold mine, but if the condition's bad, they're not worth anywhere near as much. So moving along, we have like DC heroes such as The Flash here, and this is another 1960s comic. We have the Green Lantern. There's obviously been a film about the Green Lantern. That's a nice Gil Kane cover, again in lovely condition. He's got a very good run here in his stock, so people looking to fill their gaps of Green Lantern, they know where to come. Also, we move along, we've got some more Marvel characters here. The Hulk, which of course there's been plenty of comics about, not only comics, films. We've got some here at 60s, and that's a 70s one. And they're normally in numerical order, unless they get mixed up by the fans who are getting a bit too excited. Anyway, X-Men, another favourite with the films. This one is an early of the new X-Men run, number 102, and it has the origin of Storm. So it's quite a collectible item, as are most of the comics here. Here on the backboard, we have a fantastic array of some of the more valuable comics, and you've got again Spider-Man, you've got Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. number 1, you've got Doctor Strange number 1, Silver Surfer, Captain America, you name it. These are in really nice condition as well, and they're really good prices. So if we come on down, you get to the bargain bins. Most dealers will have bargain bins, and this is where the fans can pick up comics very cheaply. Cheaper than what the price they came out in the shops. Mostly they are found in specialist retail shops these days. There aren't so many in newsagents. They used to be sold through newsagents, but now only specialist retail outlets. If we move on down, we have another facet of the hobby, which are obviously the toys that relate to all the comics and the comic characters. No, you're fine. So this is all sort of film, TV and sci-fi related toys. And we've got some boxed, some loose. And this, I believe, is a young man who has a shop in, isn't it, at the Vintage Emporium? Cruise Hill. This is Kevin.
What do you price that as?
Also known, I think that's got to be at least £5, isn't it?
£5. I mean, just figuring out the price of that. £5. This man's going to buy it.
Oh, marvellous, look at that. As if by magic. That's why it's called Magic Kev. Anyway, here we see a nice array of different figures. These are action figures from the 1980s. We've got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, we've got Ghostbusters, we have some Marvel and DC characters here, the Joker, and if we look around, we've got Star Wars, always popular. There are hundreds of figures in the Star Wars range, and we have Boba Fett there, a very popular character. He first appeared in The Empire Strikes Back. Then we have some around here which are even rarer. Other figures from The Empire Strikes Back. Sometimes collectors go particularly for ones what we call the last 17. This one is Ben Kenobi, He's one of the last 17 figures, and they were actually becoming less popular at this stage. The 3 movies had completed, and there hadn't been a new movie out for some time. But to entice those collectors who had all of them, they actually included them on card with a coin. And Ben Kenobi is one of the last 17, so he's more sought after than some of them more commonplace. More comics here, more weapons and toys and guns from Star Wars, obviously fully working. Then we move along. We have another dealer here. This is Mark's store from Untitled Comics. No, but here we have more bargain bins, and this is obviously a popular store. How much are your comics here, sir?
They're 10 pence each.
My God, 10 pence each. Now, you don't get cheaper than that, do you? I wonder why you had so many people buzzing around. I must spend more time here, 10 pence each. Oh, my Lord. That is a clear out. Are you a bit running out of stock? Space for stock?
There's always room for more.
Yes. Okay, marvellous. That's incredible. I'm coming back. Right, moving along here. We have some... These are very nice volumes that are published, which are recreating the original artwork from the comics, and they are obviously of a larger scale when they're drawn up initially. Moving along here, we have graphic novels. Graphic novels, obviously very popular. They usually contain something like 6 of the comics in one row, pertaining to one storyline. But I still prefer the actual comics. Speaking of which, if you have a look on the items on the wall here, we've got some real collector's items. We have the first Captain America when he had his new comic for Marvel. We have the first appearance of the Vision for the Avengers. Captain America revived for the Avengers. And we have some very good DC. And other Marvel Silver and Bronze Age comics. So here we have another listing of A to Z, all bagged and boarded, lovely condition. And I will need to spend more time going through these. I've been through once, but once is not enough. You need more time. And the mart is open for around about 4 hours, so there's not a lot of time to get round. Then moving along, we come on through, and you can get a good view. If you get a good panoramic view here, you've got more comic dealers, and you have people specialising in film, and you have like literally lots of fans looking for the gaps in their collection. So another thing, when you're at a comic mart, we dart around a lot because obviously you're going from one stall to another. This next stall up here has an amazing collection. Has a huge back catalogue of you can go online to. They're called Incognito Comics, and they have one of the best selections here. So if you scan around here, you'll see there's a fantastic array of Silver Age comics, which you've got DC comics on this side, including some very early Batmans, and then you've got the early Marvel comics coming through into the later 60s and early 70s. They've got a fantastic collection. Sorry. All right. And as you can see, a lot of these items are priced, but there's 50% off of a lot of these comics. So that's 50% off of what the price guide prices might be. In fact, they may be less than that. Okay. Okay, now as well as comics, we also find at these fairs films. So you'll have a lot of video film and DVDs. The DVDs of sci-fi and related films. You'll also get some old classics, some old Hollywood classics here. And obviously, the key thing with comic collectors and film buffs is that they love stories, good stories. And that's what you'll find with these. And they also priced very competitively. You'll find real bargains here. That's why people come. as a spin-off with the films, that you also get film-related magazines. So these happen to be horror-related magazines, and again, these are a very good price. You've got Fangoria, you have the From the Dark Side, Rue Morgue. Some are American publications, some are British. Horror Hound. There are obviously buffs out there for all of these sort of material, and these are a bargain. 4 for a tenner, excellent. They also go back to films from the 70s. And this is First Fright Night since 1979. Through here we have another section which includes things like bubblegum cards. This chap has an amazing array of bubblegum cards, some complete box sets, some here for you can get single if you're looking for specific cards, and also collected sets here, very reasonably priced. This is why people come, because they will get the bargains. But all the latest films have sets that relate. So these are what you would call a trade box, and it's a complete box which includes at least 36 or 24 packs in this case. And then here you have the rarer cards. Some of these are signed cards by the different actors in the films. Sometimes it's maybe comic artists who are signing their work for their illustrations. And these are all in folders, and individual cards can go for considerable sums of money. Yeah. So here we have one of the great stalwarts of the Royal National Comic Mart. This is the Man in the Hat, and this is Man in the Hat Comics. And we have an amazing array, yet again, of collectibles. We've got sort of more recent comic books from America, as well as fantastic bound volumes, some British, some American. Any foreign?
Yeah, we have
Yes.
French, Italian.
And some exotic, and even, dare I say, erotic.
Just a bit.
I dare. Yeah, but great stuff, and always great bargains from Man in the Hat. You've got to come to this man's store, yeah? Excellent. So here you'll find a very nice volume of Norman Rockwell illustrations. It's a retrospective book, a mere £10. Now come on, that's got to be half price. Is that right, Pete? Half price? Is it half cover price, I would have thought? Yeah. Frank Bellamy, he's a fantastic illustrator. He did a lot of artwork for Eagle Comics, and this is actually reprinting the strip from Eagle, I believe. World War I story. Amazing. Brilliant illustrator. What have we got here? The Art of Marcia Washington. Now that's one I don't know. Not for me, but the world of Steve Ditko is. Now this is a master of comics. He worked for many publishers, including Marvel, and actually was known for doing Spider-Man and Doctor Strange. And he's only recently popped his clogs. What else have we got here? World Encyclopedia of Cartoons. Bit of Betty Boop there. The Superheroes Encyclopedia. It fills a very weighty volume. Comic books by Hubert H. Crawford. Again, what a bargain price. So if you're looking for bargains, you've got to come down here. This is very nice, Dracula Annual. Wow, that's quite a rarity. I've not seen that. I do actually have the individual comics, but not the bound annual. That's amazing. Ah, it looks like a bound copy. Oh, what an artist. Dennis McLaughlin, sorry. He did a lot of the Buffalo Bill annuals, which were just superb from the 50s. Amazing. But he also did a lot of work for pulps in America, hence the American cover and the image. Wow. Fire and Water. Bill Everett Submariner. Birth of Marvel Comics. Another fine illustrator who actually carried on drawing work for Marvel right up until the 70s. Another Marvel volume. Absolutely everything you need to know. So don't ask me. So I'm still looking around here. Here we have Kent Comics, which are amazing. Always bargains to be had from these guys. Fantastic. They have a shop down in Kent, well worth visiting. But always are at the marts and at the bigger comic cons as well. We've got some lovely examples of comics here. Look at that, all beautiful. Oh my word. Graded. These are actually sealed and graded copies. This is the first giant size X-Men, and it's the first of the new X-Men. It's a very nice comic, that. And oh my goodness, that's a nice one too. How much is your giant size X-Men?
600.
That's pretty reasonable, and that's a 5.5. That's a grading. So if you look on these, they've all got grading. This one's a 9. That's a very high grade. That's pretty much as near mint as you're going to get. Then you've got here lower grades, a 3.5. And you've got an 8.5. This is the 700th copy. It looks like it's signed by Stan Lee as well, who was one of the main creator for Marvel. Certainly the writer. Wow, nice goods. Yeah, so it's been a brilliant mart. Thank you for that.
That's all right.
Things are starting to wrap up now. This is Nick. He has another fantastic stall. He has an amazing array of back issues that collectors can find. Yeah, wow. I need to spend more time. Got some underground comics as well, which are slightly naughty, but more for adult tastes. We have graphic novels, more discounted comics here, boxes and boxes. And then we have a dealer here who works exclusively with horror comics and sort of film-related memorabilia of the horror genre. I often pick up items from this chap. Another fine day at the Royal National, and obviously a place where people like to come. It's maybe 6 times a year now, and the next one is in December, so we shall see you there.